Hi everybody, my name is Lisa and this is going to be the first video in introduction to several videos that I'm going to put out about elemental beings. And I've been really called to do this for quite some time, and I think I just need to get over the fear of being on a camera and just get it done, because the most important thing is getting this information out, not the way I look or how dumb I look when I'm talking. So here we go. I started my spiritual journey a little over 4 years ago. Throughout that period of time, one of the things that was the most interesting to me was anything that had to do with extraterrestrials. I wanted to know who my soul family was, my star family, and through countless hours of videos, I saw where so many people very easily recognized and resonated to a particular star being, but that wasn't me. They were interesting to me, but I didn't feel that deep connection like a lot of people do. So I began asking. I began to ask and had a million and one thoughts go through my mind. Well, maybe it's a particular being that we've never heard of, or maybe it's not any being. However, through all of that processing, I began doing countless hours of meditation and developing my intuitive gifts, and was really excited the first time that I realized I had the ability or the gift to see, meaning I was able to see spirit, namely elves. So some of the first spirit I've ever seen were elemental beings, namely elves. So when I first began to see them, I would only see them for a second, and then they would kind of cloak out. As time has gone by, I now am able to see them really easily, and I can see the fluidity of their movement, where before I could only see if they were looking at me 1 second, the next second they weren't, but I couldn't see the way that they moved because they vibrated so quickly that all I saw was this vibrating being for a second, and that would be it. So through that process, and as I continued to seek out my star family, the number 11s became really prevalent in my life. So almost like in a ridiculous way, where any sequence of numbers to be had always was 11. Always seeing the clock at 11, always pumping 11:11 by mistake, it just for fuel. So in such a ridiculous way. And then I learned that the elven resonate to the number 11. They resonate to that particular number. And when I realized that, all of a sudden it made sense to me why these elves and gnomes and fairies and all of these elemental beings were in my life. They were jumping up and down and waving and desperately trying to get my attention. And they were really just trying to say, Lisa, we are your star family. You've been asking and asking, and here we are. We're right here in front of you. So when I came to that revelation, I can't even describe the level of excitement I had. It all made sense to me then. Why I was so graced with their presence all the time, and why they were everywhere that I was. It was just amazing. So a lot of you may or may not know that elemental beings, although we have 4 particular elements of the earth, and we have elemental beings that are responsible for those elements, there are also elemental beings intergalactically. So all over the universe there are elemental beings. So it finally made sense to me. And once I realized that that's who my star family was, I then began to start channeling information from these beings. So unlike a lot of people, I don't channel the way a lot of other people do. I know some people are able to just kind of sit and allow the channeling to come through. That's not something I'm capable of doing. The way that it happens, well, I shouldn't say capable. It's not a strong point for me. The way that it happens for me is through my sleep and through my meditation. Although when I come back to conscious state of reality, it's not as though I have all this recollection of this incredible information. It doesn't work like that for me at all. On the contrary, I oftentimes don't remember much at all. I will be aware that there's been conversation, because as I come to a conscious state, I will pick up bits and pieces of the conversation I'm having etherically. However, the information doesn't come to me right away. It comes in perfect divine time. And oftentimes when it comes to me is when I am speaking to another person and sharing with them what I have learned thus far. Those are the times where they will ask a question and I happen to just know the answer. And it's almost as if they put these beautiful little prepackaged pieces of information into my subconscious. And then it's all of you or all of the people who engage me about this subject that unwraps those gifts for me. So this has been on my heart for quite some time to do this, but I've been a little bit chicken to do it. But here I am, and we're going to talk a lot about these beings and a lot about my personal experiences, because some of it's a lot of fun. Some of it was a little scary, but all in all, these beings are just magnificent, beautiful, incredible, and loving beings. They can be loving. Let me rephrase that. They can be loving, but they can also be mischievous because they're extremely childlike. And if you want to experience elemental beings, the best, easiest way to do it is to be more childlike. They love that energy. So because they're so childlike in behavior, they don't necessarily understand the magnitude of their actions if they cross the line, so to speak. So it's sort of like a little brother that runs around a corner and scares you. Boo. The little brother probably falls on the floor laughing, think it's just hilarious. You may not think it's so hilarious, and it might even trigger anger in you. Well, that's what they're looking for. They enjoy that reaction. They enjoy the intensity of that reaction. So once I learned that, because they definitely played their tricks on me as well, I can, happily say that I have a really beautiful rapport with them now. But I had to learn. I had to learn that in lieu of getting upset or angry or allowing it to elicit anger in me, that I would just be silly back with them and go, "Oh, you little silly, I'm going to get you," just really be in that childlike behavior and be fun. All of a sudden, it's not so fun to scare you anymore because they're not getting that same reaction. And then it's almost like a trust that happens between yourself and these elemental beings. And it's a trust that I've been building for the past couple of years. And now they would like for me to share with all of you just how important they are here on our planet, how important they are for us as human beings. They would like for me to share with you the reason why they are so aloof in nature. There's actually a purpose for that. And they would like to be a part of your lives too. And it's important that you believe that they exist. And if you can take my word for it, wonderful. But if not, get into that childlike energy. Experience it yourself. You don't necessarily have to have the gift to see. You can feel them, because when their energy is around, you'll know. So thank you so much for listening and caring enough to tune in. And I hope that you'll be back so you can learn about each one of these beings and my personal experiences with them and just what they're here for. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you guys have any questions at all, put them in the comments below, and I will do everything I can to get back with you and answer your questions. Thank you so much.